They knew what an American Indian looked like, but they didn't care. Then once we start mixing up together with the original Australians, with the original Indonesians, with the original anybody original, what did they call us after that? They called us mulattoes. And it didn't necessarily mean you had yellow skin. You could be two black people mixing together and they could tell, hey, this is an Indonesian and original American mixing together. Yeah, that's a mulatto. Let's just call them an N-word or a Chino. You see how that popped off? So I'm telling you, that's why I say DNA testing is BS, because they using your complexion, lookership to tell you what the heck you are. Now, when you got the ideal of the Pacific slave trade popping off and those people coming all the way up there to Jamestown, Virginia, and those same people was mixing with us and other parts of these isles too, where else that DNA come? Because there's a lot of people I know that look like Indonesians in the South. Like real talk. But yet their DNA pop up as African. Come on now. You make it make sense. Make it make sense. All right. Let's go. Let's go to the next page. Now, this book right here is called The Caste and Tribes of Southern India. I got this book. This book is from 1909. I got this book because, shoot, I didn't think they had books like this. So I just want to show you just a little bit of things from here. Again, thank you for the poll from the Cash App. Like I said, I don't care if you send me one damn cent. Anything helps. Because what I'm doing with that money, I'm trying to buy land for my own generation. All right, this the Keter people. This name is also in the Bible too. Did y'all know? Kedar, whatever. It's in the Bible too. Look how she looked. The caste of India. The caste of India. Every time I look at somebody from India, they just got long straight hair, right? They just got long straight hair. Long straight hair. But when you look at the caste of India now, you got to break that perspective. You got to break the perspective. You got to break all that. You got to break all that, right? So, showing you in the book, it says Kedar, the Kedars or the Kedans, inhabited of the, I can't even pronounce none of this shit. I ain't even gonna try. Or it says, or Elephant Hills, and the great mountain range which extends thence southward to the Travancore. So that's how those people look. I got some more photos. The Kedar boy with the chipped tooth. What happened to the individual that said Photoshop? So those of y'all that keep saying Photoshop, sir, books, sir, yes, these same photos are in books too. These same photos are in books too. Postcards, everything. They're in books too. All right. We got more. Kita girl wearing comb. Come on now. Let's go. And this one right here. Whoo, this one. We still talking about Cater. I mean, no, this is not Keter right here. Knicker, and whatever it says, I don't know. However they say in their language. Look at that. All right. Remove Poindexter, please. Remove Poindexter from my life, please. He came to cause trouble and confusion. All right, so you see. All right, and it tells you these people are commonly known as Kenis, are a jungle tribe inhabiting the mountains of the South Travancore. Jungle people, so Tarzan, my boy. Sir, I'm gonna need you to take off that paint that you have. Rub that paint off and show your real self. Tarzan, Mr. Tarzan. This is the jungle people. And we talking about the islands, the islands. Tarzan ain't African. Tarzan ain't African. I just called him Tarzan. He ain't got nothing to do with Tarzan. I just said it because his tribe inhabits the jungle. He ain't got nothing to do with Tarzan, so don't try to shame me, y'all. He ain't got nothing to do with Tarzan, but that's the real right there. So when we talking about the Moors, the Mysore, we talk these are immigrants. These are immigrants that came to the prominence of Mysore. All right. So when we say Moors, the Moors was out there too. The Moors was out there in them islands too. You know what I'm saying? They was out there. They was out there popping off, chilling, coming together, chilling. The Moors. They was out there. Look at that big old turban on his head. Moro. We got Gabu. Yes, sir. Every time I go live when I'm teaching a lesson, it's always gonna be popping. It's always gonna be popping. This is the rest of the people. I wish I could turn it sideways. Can I turn this? Let me see if I can flip this. Flip it. There we go. Kapu bride in, I think this says groom or something like that. But they're getting married. They was getting married. They was getting married. Yes, sir. They was getting married. And look at the Moor popping off on the side. Looking like he wish he wasn't there and shit. But yeah, there they is. There they is. And see, like I say, it's amazing. Oh my God, what the heck did I just do? Okay. Turn this back around. No, what are you doing? I'm not trying to crop this. Okay, it was like this. All right, here we go. The Catherine de San Juan, China slave and popular saint. Catherine de San Juan. Let's go. I studied a little bit of Spanish. There's a little bit of Spanish. I'm below elementary. But here we go. It says around the year 1610, a young girl. This is a real history. This is a real thing in history that had took off. It's about a girl. Her name Katharina. She was taken from, they don't know where she was taken from, but it was one of those islands. You know what I'm saying? But it says around the year, go up, zoom in more. Around the year 1610, a young girl was seized from their homeland in South Asia. South Asia could be any of those islands. The Filipino or New Guinea. It don't matter where it is. I like saying New Guinea. I took a lot of photos from New Guinea. And it says, and taken to the city of Puebla, Mexico. Puebla, Mexico, where she became a popular saint named Catherine de San Juan. She was unique in that the churchmen crusades to canonize her as a exemplary Christian after her death, after her unaliving. But her life trajectory, closely approximated that. Dang, tongue twister like a motherfucker. Approximated that of the other Chino slaves who made the journey from Asia to Mexico in the 17th century, with them, Katharina witnessed the same legal and social changes that turned all Chinos into Indians. So she was not an Indian, but they reclassified her as an Indian. So why is people being classified as Indians who wasn't Indians? You see how they was giving away people identities? Like, oh, shoot, whatever. Let's call her an Indian. You see what was popping off? The reclassification. But they were stripping the real Indian title from real Indians and giving it to somebody else. So again, Everybody on the West Coast. Are you an Indian or are you Chino? What are you? We got the proof. Navajo, Apache. Come on now. We got a lot of stuff popping off. But it says, with them gathering of witness the same legal and social change that turned all Chinos into Indians. Now, what's popping up? What's popping up on TikTok right now? We notice a lot of videos of individuals getting kicked off reservations. People that was falsely called Indians, right? That was what's popping off. So once you see that and you put this into it, then you put those people from those islands into that. Now we get to understand that America knows something that they ain't telling the whole nation. Because once they tell everybody the truth, and they like, hey, we've been calling ourselves Indians this whole entire time, and y'all took it from us, so you need to give me back my title, sir. You gave it to the people on the East Coast, West Coast. You gave it to the people on the West Coast. What's popping off? Not saying there isn't original Indians over there. There is original people over there. There is Indians too. But majority of people over there, they was being reclassified as Indians when they wasn't even Indians. Melanated people now. No, I haven't heard about that thing that was popping off in Utah. But it says Katrina experience makes concretely visible the human toll of the trans-Pacific slave trade. You will not see this on Google like that. They don't only talk about 18th century, but we talking about 1610. But we talking about 1610, 1600. And it says, at the same time illustrating how individuals took part in the transformation of slavery. Katrina's story is now Mexican folklore. Say it again. Katrina's story is now Mexican folklore. We're talking about a girl for the Filipino Islands or Indonesia. Now she's recognized as a Mexican. Take that perspective and place it on the whole nation. What do you have? So I'm just going to be real right now. A lot of y'all don't know who y'all are. Calling yourself indigenous to America. A lot of y'all don't know who you are. Once you add the Pacific slave trade into this, it's hard for you to say who you identify as. It's really hard. That's why they don't talk about it. They don't talk about it because a lot of work is going to have to be done once they tell the world about the Pacific slave trade in on a mass scale. It's gonna do damage to South America and to North America, all the way up to Canada. We're gonna have a true identity crisis. They don't want to suffer that. They don't want to suffer that. So that's why they tell you about the Pacific slave trade. It says the known outline of Katrina's life is the Portuguese slavers took her from the western coast of India on a trading voyage that went around the subcontinent across the Bay of Bengal, through the Straits of Malacca, I think I said it right, and up the South China Sea to the Manila and the Philippines, where they finally sold her at a market. This was the first leg of forced journey that continued on the ship of Manila. I cannot say that word for the life of me. I'm just gonna say Manila. It's kind of hard to roll off my tongue. It's just my ebonics. It's kind of hard for me to say that word for some reason, even though I said it like many times. Galleon, which carried Katrina across the Pacific to the port of Acapulco. Acapulco is in Mexico.